What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody's having an excellent week. About a little bit over a week to the Super Bowl, and then we got a real quiet time in terms of sports. But this is a really annoying time to be a Jets fan because right now social media is like a sewer pit where there's so many rumors and speculations. You don't know who to believe. You don't know what to read. And right now there's a lot of people chasing clicks, chasing retweets, chasing likes. Just take advantage of the desperate Jet fan that wants information and see what happens. Now, today's story I found just ridiculous because, well, if you don't know, there was a story saying that Joe Douglas is walking around the Senior Bowl telling everybody the Jets are going to be actively involved in pursuing Aaron Rodgers. First of all, if anything about Joe Douglas, he's always been very secretive and tight-lipped. 99% of moves made by Joe Douglas and his staff have caught everybody by surprise, whether it was trading Adams, trading Darnold, signing free agents, whatever they've done has caught us all by surprise. Every time. Even the draft picks, there's been so many smoke. We don't know what they're going to do. So to think that this guy, with his Jets career on the line, where we all know, everybody knows the Jets need a veteran quarterback. They've actually said it. The owner said it. Joe Douglas has said it. And Saleh said it. We all know this already. If you think he's walking around saying we're going to get Aaron Rodgers and playing his hand that actively, no. Now, will people know the Jets will be involved? But some of this stuff, man, give me a break already. So the other thing, too, is now it's like with the whole Aaron Rodgers thing, there's so many levels to this that aren't going to come to fruition until after the Super Bowl because he's playing his cards right. He's going to play the media game. He loves the attention. He goes on Pat McAfee, gets whatever else. So the thing that you think about, and just logically, I think, Aaron Rodgers right now, I do believe this. He's not going to want to retire this year, the same year as Tom Brady. He'll wait at least another year. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I think it's quite obvious the Packers are ready to move on from him. So how do they handle this? Now, the Packers, if they were smart, do not want to trade Aaron Rodgers within the NFC because you don't want to face him and you don't want to have egg on your face if he goes to the 49ers or he goes to the Buccaneers, lights up, ends up beating you. They're not going to do that unless they get a ridiculous offer they cannot refuse. Now, if Aaron Rodgers is all about winning, he could also force the hand too, where he's like, you know what? If you trade me to this certain place, I'm not going to go there. I want to retire. He could play hardball, do these different things, but I think it's safe to assume that they're going to try to find a way to get him to the AFC, right? That's not me having sources. That's just me using common sense, okay? So then it's like, what teams in the AFC will be desperate to have him? The Jets, front and center. Now with the Jets is, does Aaron Rodgers want to come here? Does he want to play for Saleh? Saleh has ties to LaFleur, so he could, if he wanted to ask questions about them, they could discuss it there. Does he want to come to the New York market with the media and all this other nonsense? I mean, I understand everybody saying there's the challenge, but Favre came here and did it, and he saw the aftermath of that. Does he even want to deal with that? The other team that's often mentioned is the Los Angeles Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry. So, that could be a West Coast team. Davante Adams is there. Davante Adams is already recruiting him. Davante Adams already left him in Green Bay, but, that's a recruiting thing there where there could be less pressure there. He's good, And the one thing about the Raiders everybody keeps talking about is, well, if the Raiders couldn't afford Derek Carr, how are they going to afford Aaron Rodgers? Well, the Raiders also got to sell tickets. They got that brand new stadium, what I can't wait to go to next year when the Raiders play the Jets. But I think at some point they're going to have to make an investment in their franchise and say, you know what, we've got to spend big. We can't go from Derek Carr and his team to breaking out Baker Mayfield. I think they realize they got to sell tickets, so maybe they find a way to do that. Again, this is where the story is. You don't know what's true or not. Can the Raiders afford them or not? I don't know. But you go Raiders, Jets, and maybe the Titans. And the Titans, who are a rebuilding team, but according to whatever reports, Aaron Rodgers has a house down there. So he has a house, he'll play there, whatever else. So we really don't know. I think the only thing we do know is the Jets are going to be active players. And if they don't go for Aaron Rodgers, then Derek Carr is going to be on the table, whether you like it or not. Now, there's reports again. Derek Carr doesn't want to come to New York. He wants a different kind of feel, different environment where the Carolina Panthers could fit him. So I think the most important thing here is the Jets cannot be left out in the dark with absolutely nobody. Though they have to have a concise, clear-cut plan that put their feelers out and find a way to get a hold of Aaron Rodgers or whatever. They read the tea leaves and be like, listen, is the guy, we don't think he's going to retire. Are the Green Bay Packers actually going to trade him? And what will it take to get him? And if the timeline becomes too long, like, we've got to pivot and go somewhere else. And then if Derek Carr is not on your table, then what? And the fear you have is the Jets panic and overpay, but they may be in a spot where they may be forced to overpay to get the guy they want, because you don't want your plan C, D, and E is not a really good option. Like I'm not a Jimmy G guy. I just don't like him. Whatever, you can call me crazy. I just don't think his mindset with this team, all these young guys, and he's always injured. I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to happen. I don't want Ryan Tannehill. I mean, you don't want these other names, Jacoby Brissett. Not Kyler Murray's not happening. So it's like, the Jets got to sell tickets. There's two names that are going to probably sell them, and they got to figure out a way to get one of them. If Derek Carr, after the Super Bowl gets released, signs somebody else, signs elsewhere quickly, the Jets have got to make some power moves, man, to get Aaron Rodgers here. So we'll see what it is if it comes down to the Jets versus the Raiders. If there's a secret team, and the other thing that always happens too is that there's always these secret teams, because what happens is an agent is going to leak stories to drive up the price in terms of the contract. If Aaron Rodgers is going to restructure it, the team, the Green Bay Packers, will leak things to try to drive up the compensation. And you hope the Jets don't end up bidding against themselves and spending more than they have to, because they don't have a good feel for the situation. So there's a lot of moving parts here. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Raiders versus Jets. Then it's just a matter of where he actually wants to play. What's he want to do? People want to discount the Raiders, but they have talent, man. I know you have Jacobs dealing with the contract, but I mean, if your argument is Aaron Rodgers can elevate anybody's team, he can win anywhere, then the Raiders will fit that mold. The coach, Josh McDaniels, regardless of what you think of him, it's not like Robert Saleh has this huge resume either. He's on the hot seat. So we'll see what happens. Just don't believe everything you read. Sometimes you just got to be patient till there's actually a legitimate story instead of overreacting and regurgitating what everybody else is saying. So just hang in there, man. This is going to be interesting. I just hope we get either Carr or Rodgers. I just don't want to go through a season with absolutely lousy quarterback play. The other thing, too, is a lot of conversation about Mike White. I love Mike White, man. I would love to see him come back. But unless you trade Zach, I don't think you can afford to pay Zach, pay a top-level guy like Carr and Rodgers or whoever else, and then give Mike White $5, $6, $7 million a year to stay. So I think his days here are going to be numbered unless you trade Zach Wilson. So that's it. I was probably long-winded. I probably talked in circles, too, because I'm deliriously tired. Have a good day.